Hello. Sorry, long time no see. It's been hard trying to get time to film. My boyfriend's been on a holiday and blah blah blah. So I was like, I don't want to sit here while he's there, and yeah. So I waited till he was out. That's why I haven't done a video in a while. And I'm bringing you today my February haul, which is really small this month. Really quite impressed with myself. I think it's probably because I haven't really had the money to be buying on books. I sort of splurged out on payday and that was it for this month. So, yeah. But it is bonus day on Friday, so we'll see how long that lasts. But I don't really intend to buy any more at the moment. I've kind of run out of room on the bookshelf, so it's like, I'll read some before I buy some. But I still like to have a little bit of a splurge. Has to be done at one point in the month, doesn't it? So, the first book I bought this month was The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. This has been around BookTube quite a lot and everybody sort of raved about it. I have to say, from the back it doesn't sound great, but I think it's one of those books that is a lot better to read. I've heard somebody saying she wasn't going to tell you what it's about because it's better to go into it blind. And to be honest, I'm kind of blind about this book. I'll tell you what I can gather from the back is that basically she's lost her memory and things are a bit hectic and she doesn't quite know why or what she's doing or anything like that. It's a trilogy, so I think the second one's just come out recently. So yeah, if you read this, let me know what you think. It's I've got high hopes for it. I've had it on my wishlist for a while and I just thought, oh, I'll buy it. Because I've not heard anyone say it's rubbish, so it's got to be alright, hasn't it? I'm a bit disappointed. The copy I got is sort of bent. I don't know if you can, no, you can't really see on here. It's a bit bent and funny, but there we go. I have to say I'm not overly impressed with this delivery, just because I got it off Book Depository. I waited like 2 weeks for it to come, which is a bit of a while, and yeah, as I say, it's not in the best condition, but never mind. I think they're kind of a hit and miss website, really, the Book Depository. I've heard a few people with horror stories from them, but so far so good, really. A few things have taken ages to come. I mean, I remember I ordered a book in December and it only came like 2-3 weeks ago, which was ridiculous, but anyway. Next, I have Kiss Me First by Lottie Mogak, something like that. Now, again, this has been on my wishlist for a while. I ordered it, and then literally 3 days later, we got it and it worked for $3.50. It's typical, isn't it? But I don't mind that I've paid more, because I don't know if you see my book buying habits tag. I did say I like to pay full price for books where I can, so never mind. But, yes, this sounds very interesting, actually. It's quite thin. I was expecting it to be a bit thicker. I did pick it up at work. And, yeah, I was surprised by the size. But, anyway, it sounds really good. It's about, what's she called? Layla. And it's all about online identity and stuff. And I think this girl wants to disappear. So Layla takes her online identity and carries on her online life, I suppose, to stop people wondering where she's gone and everything like that. So it's quite a good concept, and it sounds like things get a bit hectic and Layla discovers stuff about the girl she's impersonating and stuff about herself as well, apparently. So, always good. Bit of self-discovery. But yeah, it does sound really quite interesting, so I'm looking forward to that one, actually. I might read that soon. Next, I got Seth Morn's The Painted Veil. Now, I've never heard of Morn, really, and I've never read him. I thought this sounded interesting, and I've heard a few people raving about him and saying he's their favourite and la-da-da. And after reading one book, they've gone on to read all of them. So I thought I'd give this a go. It's only, again, a thin little book. And, so yeah, it sounds quite interesting. It sounds like it's about Kitty Fan and her husband, who is a bacteriologist. And it's all set in Hong Kong, and she has an affair. He finds out about it. So he takes her to a really remote part of China, which is suffering from an epidemic. Why not? I mean, your wife's cheating on you. Why don't take you both to die? I mean, yeah. So it sounds quite interesting. It sounds like it's all about sort of spiritual awakening as well, and sort of stuff she realises about herself from being there. So we'll see. And the last book, yes, that is all. The last book I got is this beast. House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielowski. There's no chance I'm going to pronounce that right, so I'll just leave it there and you can see its name there. Alright, Bastard full colour edition, and it's really quite pretty. It's got this little page on the inside and a flippy bit on the cover, and yeah, no, it's quite cool. I mean, it's a cool looking book generally, to be honest, sort of flipping through. It's not, I mean, it looks like a beast, and it is a beast, but the pages are sort of not, it's very uniquely written. It's not a straight out story, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge to read, but I don't think it'll be as much of a challenge as it looks like it's going to be. Basically, I've read the back of this and I've tried to sort of get a vibe for what it's about. I bought it thinking it was a horror story. Now, I don't really like horror stories, but this sounded quite interesting from the way it's written and the way it's a bit different and everything like that, so I thought I'd give it a go. Having looked it up a bit on the internet and stuff, it turns out it's not necessarily a horror story, it's also sort of a romance story in there, so that'll be interesting. Basically, I think it was quite hard to get a gist for this story. I think it's basically about a lot of different people's stories, but it's this man moves into a flat and finds a book or letters written from some other man, and then we see those as well as another letter conversation. It sounds like there's a lot of main characters, but apparently the font changes to make it more obvious. So that will help. I think it's going to be a holiday read, this one. I'm going to have to properly sit down when I've got a lot of time to concentrate on it. But it sounds very interesting. I think it's... I don't really know how to describe it. And it sounds like when it first came out, because it says in the inside that this is the first sort of copied edition of it, in a whole book. It sounds like when it first came out, it was sort of released in sort of bits and bobs on the internet and stuff. I'm guessing it's pretty much like a freaky house situation. I don't really know. Yeah, but I quite like stories that are a bit different and sort of portrayed on the page differently, because it just makes things a bit more interesting, doesn't it? So yes, that is everything for this month, and I think that's bloody good, to be honest with you. So yeah, bye.